Hi, my name is Erika, and today I'm going to explain to you about health. It is said that someone is fixated when taken in emotional conflict that immobilizes and prevents effective action to change the situation. And this remains through unconscious fasteners, as all unresolved emotional conflicts are structured in the body in the form of chronic muscle tension. These muscle tensions actually fix the various ways the body. As we live a time generating many tensions, we must learn how to protect our bodies and minds of harmful tension. To reduce the vulnerability of tension, it is necessary to develop and release the mental and physical defense against let go. With lust, hatred, attachment, jealousy, or disorder, many kinds of harmful acts may occur. Should be restricted as much as possible. Hate feeling, have a warm heart to reach appeasement. In this context, the conditions for good health will be better. For example, I did not teach me to reduce my irritability, but calm down. It is always possible to learn to calm down. It is a workout. Knowledge makes it easier to relax the application of the method of problem solving, which in return promotes relaxation. Stressed people are most often the fear of anger. If the state insists, it follows a stripping phase and organic consequences may occur. A state of panic and fury is a considerable acceleration of the physiological processes, and it is impossible in this state to reason. Most of the time, the best results will be achieved peacefully. Personal development will give you more strength to contribute to the social life. We must find ways to oppose these destructive emotions. For example, if anger causes suffering, must find a cure. The antidote animosity is compassion. The practice of compassion is like a medicine which acts against an excessive egocentricity. As the consequences have not yet produced, fear is a mental perception that is a thought associated with a physical reaction. Fear is physically felt as a fear, what is born of mental activity. Such adaptations are neurotic because they seriously disrupt the ability of the individual to function as an effective and fully integrated person. When someone's behavior is governed through pipes or lines conscious principles, it behaves typically as these principles will enhance the well-being. If you really wanna confront the reality, we must be willing to stop any submissions to destructive emotions. When you get upset, for example, against a nuisance, you are unable to perceive the interrelation of conditions that have contributed to the situation. With the knowledge of all the causes that interfere, the expression of hatred becomes possible. Must observe the mind to see how this error is designed and how destructive emotions arise in the guise of such ignorance. The only solution is to control anger. The sensations works exactly the same way but in reverse. It is to be exposed to situations in the form of images while maintaining good state of calm. It is very difficult to get excited, slowing. The therapeutic laughter recently competed to Prozac, the drug that is prescribed against depression. Patients who watch videotapes humor for a certain period gain in serenity and well-being. One of the four basic modes of thought that combine brain activities related to feel and those related to information processing. This would explain that man can any treated through the laughter, even the tragedy and pain. Laughter is also a way for the brain to compensate for disturbance of thought. This means that laughter works as an escape, a safety valve when our neurons are distracted. It soothes, heals, brings together, and reconciles. Nourished by the judgment and intelligence, he will neutralize and destabilize, get terrible effects. We convulsions laugh, we jump for joy, we soar with excitement, and we smile with pleasure. But as the degree of pleasure depends on the amount of initial excitation, which is beyond our control or our control, we should feel grateful that we feel pleasure. With this pleasure, especially if the heart reacts, the whole body convulses in the ecstasy of relaxation. We must refuse categorically to pose as victims. Physical well-being is simply the temporary absence of problems and complications. So if the mind remains indisciplined, whatever exceptional material in which you live, fear and anxiety environment you inhabit, be aware that source of happiness and well-being comes from a peaceful mind and master it. Being stressed out is an emotional state and corresponds to style of thinking and behavior. If someone remains calm in stressful situations, it will make better use of their skills are high. Whatever this lifestyle, it seems impossible to have a trouble-free life. A popular proverb says, in life it is better to love and people have problems because you cannot escape it. Our ego is not strong enough to accept failure, and thus we force our bodies to cope with situations harmful to our health. The general philosophy in practice is then to realize that we cannot do everything. What we do in every way will a drop compared to the ocean that we could have done instead. A balanced meal, a healthy diet is to provide sufficient food, a major pleasure for good health. Sleep is a need. To sleep is essential. Most of the time people are trying to sleep, lulled by the desire that increases alertness. Strive not to hear noise is the best way to give it importance. Stop thinking to eat or eat requires just thinking about the thing in question. Best way is the fact to relax, eyes closed, and think of pleasant things can be a great help. However, If you manage to adopt a position of mental detachment to analyze the ideas that appears, you will gradually develop an awareness of potential for observing consciousnesses. For its ability to make spiritual transformation possible, it is also called the fundamental nature of enlightenment. Thank you.